Lights, camera, action. It's Leo season, and we need to collectively stop dimming our light. Leo season is not about becoming more confident. It's about becoming more visible to yourself. Confidence is not something that you manufacture. It's something that naturally emerges when you stop editing who you are. Welcome back to Beauty by Design. If Cancer season was bringing us inward, Leo season asks us to step back into the light. So, of course, new season, new energy. We're going to touch on Leo. It's fixed fire, steady, radiant, consistent. It's ruled by the sun, not just light, but life itself. Leo is often described as dramatic, drama queen, attention seeking, the center of attention. I don't know that that's necessarily true. I mean, kind of, but healthy Leo energy isn't attention seeking. It's just expressing. It's creative and playful. It's leadership. It's full of love. It celebrates beauty because beauty is one of the ways that we used to celebrate being alive on this planet. It rules the heart and the spine, something like having a backbone, having a big heart, a generous and playful spirit. I very much think of Leo as like this expansive, radiating energy that is about children and romance, creativity and play, but also leadership and especially self expression. This is the season, the fifth sign in the zodiac, where it's like, hey, where have you been making yourself smaller than you need to be? Leo is loud and proud, not the king of the jungle for nothing, baby. So before we get into the gates, this episode, I want to briefly talk about the sun because it is the ruling planet for Leo. It is the center of the solar system, right? And you often hear astrologers say that you're more than your sun sign. And of course you are. But human design gives the sun incredible weight and importance. Okay, shall we nerd out for a moment? Around 70% of the neutrinos imprinting us at birth come from the sun. Those particles carry information. So your conscious sun gate and line, they become one of the strongest themes in your entire design. Now, why this is important, I'm going to use myself as an example. So my own conscious sun in Pisces sits in gate 36. Understanding this completely changed how I view my own sensitivity and depression. Instead of seeing my emotional overwhelm and turbulence and depth as something to try to fix, I began seeing it as the foundation of my work. Leo season is the perfect time to look at your own conscious sun placement, not to become more Leo or confuse yourself or anything like that, but to better understand the life force that you are here to express. So, of course, there is a card. This makes a beautiful altar card to know that this is the big energy that you're working with in your chart. It's the top one on the black side, the very top. It'll have a circle, the little dot in the middle of it next to a number and then a decimal place. We won't go that far, but this is going to tell you just a lot of information. This is your essence, your radiance, your big spotlight that you shine, in the Gene Keys, your sun is your brand and your life's work. So take that for what you will. And I always love to say that Leo is not afraid to radiate self-confidence and sunshine and light and love. When it feels good about itself, it wants to just impact and radiate that warm, sunshiny feeling out to everyone. So there's a secret for you. Like, your sun energy is going to hold a lot of information about how you are meant to absolutely blind people. You could have a sad sack of, what, like me. I do have a Leo moon though. Okay, so keeping with our sun theme, of course, when we go through the gates each episode, we're looking at the sun, the big powerhouse traveling through the different gates or segments, if you will, small segments of that astrological sign. So we're going to use the cards, my Beauty by Design Intuitive Beauty Oracle cards. I hope you're watching on Spotify or YouTube so you can see these. We're going to work through, and I think that's always beneficial because you can see where in the body graph, where on the chart the energy is coming from. What does it connect to? Like where is this originating from? I think that's very, very powerful. So Leo season starts with a bridge gate. We've got 56. It takes us from Cancer to Leo. This is the storyteller. Leo first begins with expression. Look at this, finding your voice. This is a throat gate. This is how things get out into the world. It's not necessarily performing, but communicating, something real, something colorful, something fun. Maybe is a little bit performative, but your experiences become stories here. Your stories become a way of connecting with the collective, with people. Then the sun moves into 31, which is another throat gate. This is the gate of leadership. Real influence is not about being the loudest. People trust authenticity, which I know is such a played out word, but um, being genuine, I think that that's maybe a better word for authenticity. Being genuine before making yourself this authority. And 31 reminds us that leadership is something that we earn. We can be out there speaking about our ideas and the way that we see things, which is very much what 31 is about, but we have to wait for other people to recognize that in us. It's not something that we announce. And having some true direction behind that leadership is not just wanting to be a leader for the sake of it, but really having somewhere to take people that is better than where we're at now. And so from being out, it turns inward. Another throat gate. Before we speak, we reflect. We're gathering up information, experiences, and wisdom, honestly. And 33 reminds us that wisdom comes from experience that has been digested. It's been given time to settle, to make sense, right? It's not just lived. It's many, many cycles that translate into something much larger, much more powerful, and it connects the dots between everything. From there, the sun moves into gate 7, which is about direction and leadership again. Now, this is where it drops down into the G center, which is really the heart centered leadership and direction that we want. Are you actually leading your own life? Are your choices yours, or have they slowly become someone else's expectation? This is also about leading from behind the scenes, influencing people that have influence, and really not caring about having to be the face or front and center. Don't have to be center stage, that you can do good no matter where you're at in the chain. And FYI, to take a little bit further, these two, the 31 and the 7, they form a channel. Look at that. Heart centered leadership. It's really speaking from the heart. Sorry, I had to nerd. Then we move into 4, which is about the quest for answers. Not certainty, but some form of clarity, right? Now, this is up in the Ajna. Sometimes 4 is looking for an answer, and it's not about discovering something new. It's about finally seeing what has been obvious all along and making it make sense. And then you share it for the betterment of everyone. And then finally, Leo season closes with gate 29. It ends here not with inspiration, but with devotion. What deserves your wholehearted yes? Because every yes creates a million little invisible no's. So we're choosing carefully. At this time, I think it'd be really wise to know what your personal authority is, because the sun is going to light up this energy of commitment and devotion. And you need to know how to trust yourself, trust your own system to make sure that you're really on point with what you're saying yes to and committing your energy to. So, this journey of Leo moves us from expression to leadership to reflection to direction to clarity to commitment. Leo is not about trying to become somebody new, right? Again, going back to the beginning, it's like, come home, be unmistakably yourself. Moving on to our beauty rituals. Leo rules glamour. Like, this is a time to pull out the stops. This is for the summer fits, adornment, hair. Like, this time of year where it's like too hot to do your hair, but Leo is very much the main. It's about presence. This is a season for beauty that's over the top, a big blowout, gold jewelry, bronze skin, like a hot pink lip, that dress you've been saving, book the facial, wear the perfume, celebrate yourself. Leo is about celebration. Beauty has always been one of humanity's oldest forms of ceremony and celebration of the self. Think dress for the gods and the goddesses, court them. Just don't forget your sunscreen. As much as the sun is the boss, I am still an esthetician, and protection is always, always, always easier and less expensive than correction. That's all I'll say. Okay, so transits. Mercury retrograde. Guess what? Mercury is direct July 23rd. The fog begins to lift. Not overnight, but direction slowly returns, and that is happening in gate 39. So if you're feeling a little bit emotional here, that may be why, because 39 is trying to provoke a feeling, trying to get a reaction, trying to stir a little something up. And then we've got Saturn turning retrograde. Well, guess what? The outer planets spend about half the every year retrograde. It's not as big a deal as we want to make it out to be, but this is beginning in gate 21 in Aries. Would be a really good time to review your mid-year financials. This is a gate that is about authority, management, and resources. So getting right with finances might be a good idea. Now, one of the really big exciting things that's happening during this season is that we have the nodes shifting. That happens every 18-ish months, and it takes about 18 years for the nodes to travel all the way around the zodiac. So not to confuse anything further, because they will transit over the course of their 18-month travels throughout the pairing of Leo and Aquarius. But it's happening during Leo season. It kicks off. We're actually having the North Node move into Aquarius and the South Node move into Leo. Okay. North Node is where we're going. South Node is where we're letting go of. We're incorporating lessons. We're incorporating the good side. I always like to say it's like you're packing for a trip and you're not going to take everything. You're only taking the best of the best. So what can fit in the carry-on from Leo to make its way to Aquarius land? Okay. So they will transit all the gates over the course of the 18 months, but where they begin, the nodes move retrograde in the chart. So FYI, they begin where the ending is. So the North Node will begin in gate 30. The South Node will be opposite in gate 29. So we're moving toward living the experience, the desire, emotional intensity, life wanting to be lived. And we're moving away from releasing commitments that no longer deserve our energy. Not every opportunity deserves a yes. Let's go back to those gates when we were breaking it down. It's like, no, your authority, your personal authority in human design is going to help you so much. Okay. Especially during this time. We'll come back to the nodes on a later episode, especially as they shift and change and affect us differently. But that's really powerful that they are doing their shift. They are done in Virgo and Pisces now for another 9 years as it takes to go halfway around. Okay. Then we have the Aquarius full moon in gate 41. This is on July 29th. 41 is so cool. This is the pressure to create something out of nothing. Every creation begins as imagination, right? As is my Willy Wonka gate. Before reality changes, the vision changes. This is about dreaming something up and having it come to you from the void. So we'll turn to our guidebook for our beauty and self-care rituals for 41. So again, we've got full moon shining a spotlight on that area, that house for you in astrology. If you have 41 in your chart, pay attention. Something's getting dinged. Right? If you have 30, which is its channel partner, pay attention. When this energy appears, you're standing at the threshold of imagination and possibility. This is the spark just before the story begins, the moment when a vision drops into your awareness. You may be sensing the pull of something new, a desire to dream big, feel deeper, and conceive of a future that does not yet exist. It's time to expand through your imagination, conception, and big vision. This can totally be escapist, being disenchanted, just a daydreamer. Your mantra and journal prompt for this full moon: I honor the visions that are ready to become real, and which fantasies need to become reality and which ones can remain a dream. So at this full moon, lean into practices that honor new beginnings. Build a small ritual around visioning, such as creating a mood board for how you want to feel in the next cycle of life. Practice guided visualizations to bring clarity. Try a sensory deprivation float pod to access the creative void. Even something symbolic, like starting a new journal or a fresh skincare ritual, anything that's going to help you mark the beginning of a new story, a new cycle, a new vision, and turn it into something that eventually you can actually touch. And then on July 29th, we have one of the most beautiful alignments of the entire season. Expansion meets the heart of the sun. So Jupiter and the sun will meet up in gate 31. This is part of Barbeau's basket. If you've been hearing about these 4 outer planets sitting at 4 degrees each of their signs, this is part of it. This is part of it. And in case you're curious, this and this is also part of it. We have Pluto, Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus. They definitely tell a very interesting story, but these episodes are not a deep dive. They've already been going on too many tangents. Let's get back on track. Okay, August 12th, we have the Leo new moon solar eclipse in gate 4. This is a new kind of clarity, maybe a new perspective, the beginning of a very different conversation. I was mentioning earlier that the nodes are shifting. That is where eclipses happen. So we are shifting into the period there where we'll have Leo and Aquarius eclipses, but it's just a preview for what's coming. So let's go back to our guidebook for beauty and self-care on gate 4 for this eclipse. This energy brings the message of clarity, logic, and pattern recognition. It is the moment of seeing the threads come together, but not the finale. It reminds you that answers aren't meant to box you in. They are meant to help guide you toward understanding. This card invites your mind to observe, collect, compare, form conclusions, and then offer the wisdom outward to serve others. So your mantra and journal prompt: spot patterns, release pressure. And where am I forcing answers or solutions in my life? The energy at this new moon, especially at an eclipse, which is very hands off the wheel, sort of let things fall where they may. It's about a period of redirection and new beginnings that are kind of created for us. It's almost like it opposes, because 4 seeks answers. So beauty and self-care, make your self-care feel like an experiment you enjoy running. Try using a results journal for your beauty routine. Track products or practices and know how your skin, your body, or your mood responds. Not long thoughts, just data. Your body is the proof that you collect, not getting information from outside. Choose one self-care hypothesis at a time and test it. Does it help you calm restlessness? Does it help your mind relax? Does it change how you feel about yourself? Try one new variable at a time, not 10 at once. You are the scientist and the subject. And then when you're done, set it down. Go enjoy. Right. And that brings us to the end of the season. Leo, of course, is a wonderful time to work with the cards because Leo is playful and it asks a simple question: what wants to be expressed? Pull a card, notice the artwork before you read the words, notice the color, the symbolism, the part of your body that responds first, your intuition, and your creativity. Recognize something long before your intellect has time to catch up. This Leo season, notice what wants to shine and be expressed through you. Let that become the version of you that the world gets to meet. Just a friendly reminder that the cards are now available at LILFOX.Miami and in Europe at museandheroine.com. And of course, until next time, have a beautiful day.